You too. Welcome back to another episode of the Heart of a Family. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. What we getting into today?
Well, I'm going to just say this real quick. Let me go find this. I'm going to read it verbatim. People was just talking about this young man and his wife. It says, Travis Hunter and wife, Leanna Lene, welcome baby boy just months after wedding.
Well,
So he a daddy. He a daddy.
that was quick, wasn't it?
I think she was pregnant when they got married.
Well, she had to be.
Uh-huh. She was, because they've been married only how long? I don't know how many months, but yeah, she was pregnant way before, a few months before they got married. So, well, baby boy.
Mm. All right. That's what he wanted.
hmm And it's just so crazy how everybody is in the comments. This one person wrote, "You are kidding us. My God, this kid didn't take any of our warnings seriously. Now he's in for one hell of a ride. This baby mama
Oh,
is going to tear his life and bank account to pieces."
dang.
You know,
Well, he
or
knew he
what?
was getting himself into.
Yeah, and then the thing is, they may be the couple that make it.
Right.
I can see if, his family probably warning them and Dion and people like that. But I'm like, all these other people just raking them through the coal. I just hope he got his finances together. It don't matter now, they together.
Right.
And he got a baby. But yep, but they kept it on the low. Did nobody know? Did
Ooh.
nobody know she was pregnant? Yeah.
Probably not water.
Was this the video y'all was talking about yesterday? Um,
Oh, and condolences to the families in Minneapolis. Wasn't it
what happened?
Minneapolis? Where
Yeah.
shooter shot up the Minneapolis Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
Two young kids were unalived.
That's
And when they're
And I
bad.
like
think like
17 or something. Injured.
17 to 20 were injured, yeah. And he
All this
was
nonsense.
23. He graduated, I think, from there in 2017. And they said he had I think like somehow rigged some doors and stuff on the outside or boarded up something on the outside to keep, I guess, people from like running out that way so he can try to keep them inside.
That's so crazy. Like, why would you want to do that to some kids?
Mm-hmm.
What beef? What did those kids do?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Minneapolis. Richfield, was it Minneapolis? Yeah, in Minneapolis.
I ain't hear about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, and they had like it was, I don't know if it was a school program or what, but yeah, so I don't know if I'm assuming this person just specifically targeted the kids. I don't know if he had, I don't know,
It's
but
sad.
it's just sad. It's just sad. Well, yeah, that happened today. They were interviewing one little boy today. I think he was 10, and he was saying that he was sitting by one of the windows and he almost got hit. And then I think he said they got up and of course tried to run. And then I think one of his little friends, I don't know if he jumped in front of him or was just running in front of him, but he was saying that he saved him from being shot and his friend got shot in the back.
Man, just so
Yeah.
traumatizing.
But his friend survived though. Yep.
The other day, I got took to a golf Wendy's, and I got the Wednesday.
Yep. Sad.
Yeah, but they had speakers.
Terrible. They need to do. I don't know what they can do about the guns. It's just crazy.
Bill was in blood.
Yeah, crazy. Mm, mm, mm.
That's real crazy. You said he graduated in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a grown man going to shoot up
Mm-hmm.
a school.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yep.
get chicken and fries.
I can't. Some people had just dropped off their kids too.
I love
That's crazy.
what number?
What did y'all talk about yesterday?
We finished watching that the video with the restaurant workers and how they be acting. We watched one of it was a Waffle House and then two of the McDonald ones. You was on it that one night when we saw the one McDonald's, right? Yeah, he played a little bit of that one over so Mika could see it. And then it was another McDonald's where the girl was pregnant. She was in the drive-through. I
Oh
guess they
shoot.
was taking too long for her or something. She comes inside, she terrorizes the workers. And then on her way out the store, she gonna start twerking. And she
Get
was
out.
pregnant.
Is she pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
The black people,
Yep.
boy,
Crazy. I'm like catching cases over a Happy Meal or a number one or whatever. I'm like, that is crazy.
Right. Like, what are you bringing this child into?
And then he showed Mika that video from a few months back where the two little boys was out in the backyard behind the air conditioning unit and they had a gun. Did you see that one?
Mm-mm.
He'll have to play that for you one day. But yeah, they were young and I guess the neighbor called the police and the police kind of had them surrounded. And they was probably maybe six, six to
Dang,
eight. They was
gosh.
and the police officers were shooting like the little pellet guns that, make them drop the gun. Crazy. Yeah, so we watched that one. So, but they're gonna have to do something with those guns though. That is getting out of control.
Way out of control.
And you got kids in a Catholic church in mass, and he go in and open fire.
I would put my neck open so I could get my.
nah, y'all ready for this video?
Mm-hmm.
Why Mika be so sporadic, man? I'm gonna need
God.
more consistency.
What's wrong with it?
It
We're
don't
gonna
matter.
have to
Can't shift.
we're gonna have to do
What?
participation points.
Yep.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
All right. Y'all can see my screen?
And you yourself
Mhm.
need to brace yourself.
What the title say? Oh, is this the one from Muskogee? Is this her? This ain't her, is it? Or
For
is
the
this another
details in this one,
11-year-old?
because these two people you see here are facing charges after an 11-year-old gave birth inside their home. DNA results allegedly just proved that the girl's stepfather is the baby's father. How this case could be prosecuted moving
Disgusting.
forward, as so many people try to understand how this could happen. We're on the case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. There are no words that will be able to express just how sad this story is that we're following out of Oklahoma. It's certainly shocking, and it's not easy to hear. I'll warn you about that. It's not easy to talk about either. This story first came to light on August 16th inside this home in Muskogee, Oklahoma, which is about an hour's drive away from Tulsa. According to KWTW, who spoke to the district attorney prosecuting this case, an 11-year-old girl gave birth to a full-term baby in this house on that day. Now, here are the mugshots of the girl's mom and stepdad. Their names are Dustin and Cherie Walker. The DA told the TV station.
I stereotype, chat. They fit the stereotype.
First of all, why? Who is this guy with on this law crime on the case? Why is he giving us more details than our local news? I can already tell by his video. He giving more details about the case than the news.
Mm-hmm.
They
Who
need to be
owns the news,
under.
though? Who owns the news? I said, who owns the news?
Girl. They needs to be up under the jail. They don't even need to have a trial for them. That's just a waste of taxpayers' money.
Right.
And then my thing is, who them pictures at the beginning, was that the 11-year-old girl holding the baby?
No, that was her.
Oh, okay. So wait, so who the hell baby did she think it was then if she didn't know the girl was pregnant?
Right. She went the whole 40
She
weeks.
said she didn't know. They claimed they didn't know the girl was pregnant. The grandma didn't know the girl was pregnant. So where the hell does baby come from? And you posing with a baby?
She didn't have no prenatal care.
No.
That poor baby.
But I'm like, how you posing with a baby and you didn't know where the baby came from? And I think she had, either you can go ahead and play it, but I think she had the baby at the house.
She did. They said that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, y'all just mysteriously somebody showed up with a baby and y'all don't know whose baby it is. And then taking pictures and didn't even report it.
How this 11-year-old give birth to a whole baby in the house and nobody knew?
Exactly.
What you
That
mean?
no, I'm saying like giving birth, like no, that you can't go through that by yourself.
Yeah.
That's a painful situation.
So maybe the grandma don't live with them and she didn't know, but the parents had to know that an
Right, right.
11-year-old gave birth or was in the process of giving birth.
Mm-hmm. Who cut the umbilical cord?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So maybe the parents hid it from the grandma.
Said they were also shocked by what happened because they claimed they had no idea that this young 11-year-old girl was pregnant. The district attorney pushed back on that, saying the 11-year-old was, quote, petite, so it would be pretty obvious if a girl that small would be pregnant for a full 9 months leading up to the birth of this child. They say happened on August 16th of this year. Now, we found old Facebook pages for this couple. Dustin is 34 years old. Cherie is 33. Many of the pictures show them holding young children. A neighbor to the couple told KJRH TV that 6 children in total, including that 11-year-old girl, lived in this home along with several dogs and cats. They say this was a very disturbing situation playing out in this home even before this young girl gave birth to a child. The neighbor said that this couple did not have running water in their house for the last 2, maybe 3 years. Now, at first, the Walkers were charged with 6 counts of neglect.
I'm confused. Wow.
Mm-mm. How she clean up all the blood?
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's crazy. And how did they go 2 years or so without water?
I don't know.
Mm.
Sounds like this was
Don't worry, James.
I can't even say it.
I wondered have they removed the other kids from the house and they in custody, DHS custody.
Right. If they have other daughters or other girls,
Because I wouldn't even put them with no other family members at this point.
nah.
Because you can't tell me that grandma ain't saw that baby in 9 months.
Mm-hmm. And he probably sexually assaulted the other girls if it was girls.
Yeah. Wow. Can you imagine how long that's probably been going on?
They nasty.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it appears that is a charge of neglect for each child living inside this home. But then there was a major development this week on top of what was already a major story. The paternity test came back on that baby that the 11-year-old gave birth to, and the district attorney told KWTW that the results show that the girl's stepdad, Dustin Walker, is that baby's father. He now faces a charge of sexual abuse of a child under the age of 12. Cherie is also facing an additional charge of enabling sexual abuse. Now, it doesn't appear that Cherie has a criminal history. We did find 2 cases in Oklahoma court records involving Dustin Walker. One
Like, just look at her. Like,
Let me see your teeth.
as a mother, how do you? Like, I'm trying to figure out how this all came about.
I don't
How?
even know.
I'm trying
Right.
to. Who's dumber, him or her?
Dude, her. How you let your so-called husband assault your 11-year-old child that you
And
gave
then, but
birth to?
wait, I think she was 10 at the time.
Dang.
She had the baby at 11.
Dang.
Yeah.
We did find 2 cases in Oklahoma court records involving Dustin Walker. One of them is from 2020. He was charged with firing a gun inside his home. That case appears to have ended in what appears to be a fine of some sort, and records show that the case was sent to collections when the money wasn't paid. In 2023, Dustin was also charged, this time with domestic assault and battery in the presence of a minor, but that case was dismissed according to Oklahoma court records that are available online. Both the Walkers are now being held on $100,000 bonds. The DA told KWTW that both parents could spend the rest of their lives in prison if they're convicted, if
As
the
they should.
allegations that are so incredibly shocking are actually true. As for that young girl who allegedly gave birth inside this home, a home that didn't even have running water, according to that neighbor, the district attorney says that young girl is traumatized, understandably so. That girl had to give birth inside that home without any medical care. Allegedly, it was Cherie, the mom,
Wow.
who delivered the baby. But then EMTs were called, and that's how this situation was discovered inside this home. Not to mention that young 11-year-old girl, according to the district attorney, had not seen a doctor in more than a year. She wasn't in school either. So there was no way that people outside of this home could have known that this was happening, at least that we know about. It appears that she was kept off the radar because you think of whether she was brought to a doctor or to a school, people there could have intervened and could have helped. Instead, she was allegedly kept out of sight. Join us now to talk a little bit more about this story is Practice Professor of Law at Temple University, Marian Bracha. Great to always have you on Law and Crime. Such a difficult story we're talking about here. I know you used to work in a district attorney's office. You have prosecuted very difficult cases. But I mean, how common is something like this? Because it's just, in some ways, it is so shocking, but it's also just incredibly sad, the allegations here.
Unfortunately, we have no idea how common this is because crimes like this go unreported and committed undercover, and they are committed in the darkness and in the privacy of people's homes. And so we really don't know just how prevalent a problem this is in certain.
So I'm assuming this is the 10-year-old when she was a baby.
I guess.
Communities because of the very intimate and secret nature of how this abuse is perpetrated.
As we were putting this story together, we put both Dustin and Cherie Walker's name into truthfinder.com to try to learn a little bit more about them. Not only did Truthfinder show the address where that 11-year-old girl allegedly gave birth to a child, we also learned a little bit more about their history. Cherie didn't have a criminal history, but we did see the domestic violence charges against Dustin that stem back from a 2023 incident. Those charges were dropped, but helped paint a little bit more of a picture of his background. At Law and Crime, we partner with Truthfinder. We use it to get details on the people involved in our stories. But even if you don't work in true crime, this can be a great these parents. As far as how this case could play out, they now reportedly have this DNA match to the stepfather, linking him as the biological father of the child that this 11-year-old gave birth to, this baby. What happens now in this trial going forward? Case.
What happens to the child and the baby? Are they separated or are they kept together?
No, they'll probably keep them together because of the baby being an infant, and that is the child's mother. But then she'll probably end up getting placed in somebody's care, and they may take them both in, the 11-year-old and the baby.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So since the stepdad got them previous gun charges, this is just my theory. So he got them gun charges, so he put out a gun on the mama and told her to, I don't know, mind her business. Why do what he wanted to do to the little girl?
Well,
yeah,
I think a lot of
surprised if it's been going on for so long and she just turned a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
But how do you do that?
Right.
Some people look how they don't have water. She intentionally wasn't sending her to school. So I think by her keeping her secluded in that house and not sending that child to school, not going to the doctor and all of that, she knew something was going on and she knew that girl was pregnant. Because why would you not send your child to school? And then I'm like, where's the school? The education department. I thought after they missed so many days,
they send the police for you.
Yeah. So I'm like, because he said she hadn't been to school in a year. So that's averaging almost the time of her probably finding out she was pregnant and then holding her out that whole length of time. Because you think about it, over the summer, it was no school. She just had the baby, about a couple of weeks ago?
Totally.
So for the summer, we know she didn't go to school. So for the good part of the last school term, she was pregnant.
I don't know.
or going into the last semester of the school last year, she was pregnant and didn't go none.
Yeah, there had to be some major drugs involved.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's drugs. It's the other kids was
Evidence in this
getting
case will come down
abused.
to the science.
I don't know, as the dude is already sick enough. But like as the mother, you gave birth to this child. But yet, wait a minute. I'm just thinking out the wazoo. You think it was just one and done?
No,
So
Ain't
that's
no
what
it
way.
I'm
was not.
saying.
Ain't
How do
no
you
way.
feel knowing that your husband
Under you.
is doing that with
That's the problem. Some people don't feel.
And drugs.
Down to the medical
Sure
Hmm
records,
that.
it'll come down to the vital records to establish how old the complainant, when I say the complainant, I'm referring to the 11-year-old who was impregnated and who
Hey,
did deliver
go.
a live birth. So it'll come down to establishing how old she was on the date of her delivery. That the fact that the baby she delivered was term, so doing the math, working backwards to establish how old she would have been when that baby was conceived, and then we establish a timeline for when the latest possible date for when the abuse would have started. That's what gets you the when I say you, the prosecutors, the statutory minimum for how old the victim was at the time of the abuse. Certain categories, certain subsections of the sexual assault charge go by how old the victim was at the time of the abuse. So doing that calculation and establishing that timeline will be very important. And then, of course, there is the other forensic evidence, the scientific evidence of establishing that the child that the 11-year-old delivered was in fact biologically related to her stepfather, or the defendant alleged of this abuse in this case. So that will be established by the paternity test, by the DNA testing. So a lot of the elements that will need to be met by the prosecution in this case can be met by records, by reports, by medical records, and by the DNA testing itself.
In so many of the cases involving allegations of sexual abuse, we'll see the victims take the stand, that they have to testify. That takes an incredible amount of courage. I know you've been in the courtroom for when that's happened. In this case, though, you have a alleged victim who is so young, who's 11, who's been through this traumatic experience. And you also have the science, the DNA that we've been talking about, that proves that Dustin Walker, the stepfather, is the biological father of this child. How likely would it be, if this even gets to a trial, that the prosecution would need that 11-year-old to take the stand?
oh no. What? What?
Why would they have to put her on the stand? Why? I mean, like, why? To ask her to repeat and verbalize what happened to her and all of that. I don't think they should put her on no stand.
Mm.
That's just gonna traumatize her and cause further damage to her. That's just they know what these nasty people did. They don't have to put her on the stand. I hope they don't. That's just crazy. And can you imagine the defense questioning an 11-year-old girl
Wait a
to
minute.
just
Wait a minute. Wait
read?
a minute. Wait a minute. Who is this baby? I'm the little sister. Who the big sister?
That's why I said earlier, she holding that baby. I don't know who baby that is. That's why I was like at the beginning of the video, wait a minute, who is that? Her? Is that the daughter's baby?
No, that
Taking a
can't be.
selfie with. I don't know if it's her baby. I don't know. I was with hell. Put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised. After she had the baby, she probably said, "Don't tell nobody this your baby. We gonna say this is your sister."
Oh, I didn't think about that.
And
Yeah.
taking selfies with her new baby.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
Mm-hmm. That don't make no sense. That's just sick. Sick and nasty. And then it make you think how many other kids he's messed with way before her and in other relationships that he's been with that may have had kids.
So what's the correct amount of time?
He needs to be under the jail,
Right?
the
Life.
prison. He need to be under the bricks, concrete, and don't get out.
Mm-hmm.
What about her?
Same thing. She knew better.
Right. Put her in a women's prison. Let the other women get her.
No, they don't. They messing with the innocence of kids like that. That is ridiculous. That girl is gonna live with that for the rest of her life. That's crazy. Yeah, she need to be under the prison.
So
They ain't
did
Both of
representing.
them.
They ain't representing the state very well.
so like
Under the
I
prison.
mean it's Oklahoma. It's
Mm,
expected.
mm, mm. Took that girl's childhood, everything. That's terrible.
Turn an 11-year-old into a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole future just gonna be, man, tough.
Hopefully she'll be able to grow up and kind of be able to deal with this. Maybe she can advocate for, kids that's being essayed or something like that to
Yeah.
try to turn it, to where she's, fighting for other kids. But she gonna be mentally disturbed
Mm-hmm. For life.
and need counseling. Hmm.
She gotta look at her baby and the
Now
situation that
see,
she
but
had
if
to
it
go
was the
through.
flip side and she end up doing something to him and unaliving him, then they'll be trying to put her in prison and not really advocating for her for being abused. That's what I don't like. I don't condone violence, but she should have been a Lorena Bobbitt. Yeah, you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
Y'all Google Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Ezel, Google it.
This is strictly for entertainment purposes. We are going on the road for a comedy tour. So don't take none of this to the heart, okay? It's very tragic what happened to this child. Parents are cruel and wicked. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Should the punishment be life or not? What y'all think? One family?
Endless
Endless connections.
connections.
Man, they gonna gypsy. What's her name? Gypsy 'em.
Who?
Uh, what's her name? Didn't she unalive her parents, Gypsy Rose or something like that? What's her name?
Oh yeah, but her mom was like mentally, she